Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. So, February the 3rd, 2023, it's Black History Month. So, look, let me show y'all my shirt. I have Tupac on my shirt. So I would encourage you all to please honor somebody who is dead or alive that has impacted you in any way. And one of my favorite things that I love about Tupac, I love his music, but I love his poetic element. And I also loved how intelligent he was and how intellectual. He was very intellectual. If you listen to his interviews, like he was so aware of what was happening on in society. He was aware of the systematic oppressions that we face as Black people. He was aware of so much. Even the way Black women get treated. Like if you listen to Keep Your Head Up, like that song is about Black women and how sometimes Black men can mistreat Black women. And those are issues that happen in the Black community. And I was glad that he talked about that as a Black man. So Tupac was very influential, very phenomenal, and he will be greatly missed. But yeah, that's how I feel about Tupac because I just really love him. And I remember in high school I read The Rose That Grew from Concrete and my love just grew for him. But anyways, lovelies, flower babies. This reading is titled Ancestor Messages. Okay. And what better way to kick off Black History Month than with ancestor messages? So I have two pals here for you today, and you are welcome to pick more than one, but please pick from a space of love, from a space of clearness, okay? From a space of clarity. Please pick with your intuition, okay? I'm gonna give you all a second to pick. Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and get started with my pile number ones. So if you chose pile number one, this is your reading. So pile number one, the overall message from your ancestors is God's isolation is not a punishment. It's actually a privilege because God chose you. Tune into yourself more and embrace all that you were created to be. Okay, pal number one. So you may be going through a period in your life right now where you don't have many people around you. You may have cut some people off, or some people may have cut you off. Either way, you're going through this isolation period so that you can be transformed. Let's get into the cards. So, number one, we have the Four of Swords in reverse here. So when this card is in the upright, the Four of Swords, I'm sorry, y'all can't really see that because the sun, but here we go. The Four of Swords is about that isolation, is about that solitude and that contentment. But it's like when it's in the reverse, it's like a refusal to do so. So you may be resistant to being by yourself because you feel alone or you feel like you don't have people to talk to, but you really have your higher self to talk to. You have your spirit team to talk to. You have your ancestors to talk to. And most of all, you have God to talk to, the Most High, whatever you believe in, okay? You have that ability to be able to talk to spirit, okay? And you have to tap into that, tune into that, okay? That's what I was actually going to say, tune into that. And it's already right there, like I wrote. So that just confirms it even more. Tune into that. We have the moon here. The moon. I have the moon card. So your ancestors want you to connect more to your emotions. That is why God is isolating you so that you can connect more to yourself. The moon is our emotional self. So God wants you to connect to yourself emotionally because our emotions hold so much power. Our emotions linked with our thoughts is how we manifest and create our reality. So when you don't have your emotions in order or your thoughts in order, you're manifesting chaos. You're manifesting things that you don't need, okay? So you've been isolated to connect deeper to yourself, okay? Some of you even have spiritual gifts here, and that's why you're being isolated to tap more into them, okay? You could be wanting to go into an esoteric field, such as tarot, such as Reiki, such as some type of healing field, or you might like fitness and yoga and holistic health. You might be wanting to change like the way you eat. You may be wanting to change what you consume, even if it's not food. You want to change like what you're listening to, who you're listening to. Like you're going to become more conscious, and that's the reason why you're being pulled away from certain people. So if you feel like certain things are just crashing down, relationships are ending, maybe you leaving a job, or you experience something crazy, it's just so that you can become this better version of yourself. You're going to become who God created you to be. Okay, let's look at some more messages here. So, oh, what I love, oh my goodness, you have some beautiful messages, pound number one. So, Ogun is here in reverse. Okay, Ogun is actually in Orisha. If you know anything about the Yoruba religion, it is an Ogun is an Orisha here, and Ogun is the god of iron, right? Iron. I don't know how to say it right, y'all, so don't judge me. So I say iron like that, okay? I don't say it like everybody else, but that's how I say it because with my R's, I guess some are like when it comes to me, some things just sound weird when I say it because it's hard to pronounce for me. But iron, okay? So there's this quote. I think it's biblical. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's iron sharpens iron. So it's like with this being in reverse, it's like you weren't around people that were better than you. So the whole statement that iron sharpens iron, is that a person is making you better by being in your presence, by being around you, and simply being in your life. They're motivating you, they're supporting you, they're loving you, they're holding you accountable when you mess up, or they're holding you accountable to the goals you set. That is the type of people you want to have around you, pal number one. Not people that talk about people, not people that sit around and smoke and drink all day, not people that don't have any goals or plans lined up. They just living day by day. You don't need to be around people like that. So that's why spirit has been removing you and isolating you. And even if you're not in this isolation period yet, you're being called to, because it's a catalyst for your growth, for your transformation, pal number one. I feel like you're somebody who always wants to transform, but you can't be scared of the transformation. The healing process is not glamorous. No matter what you see on social media with these spiritual influencers, they didn't get to where they are without the pain. They didn't get to where they are without that isolation and that understanding of who they were and the power that they truly held. Okay. That's why you're being isolated, because you need to recognize your power. And you can only do that through self realization, through self introspection. Okay. You have the Five of Pentacles as well. So with the Five of Pentacles being here, this is about you feeling lonely, feeling like people don't get you, people don't understand you. It could be even be the environment that you're in. And it's because you're not meant to be around these people. That's why certain connections are going to get cut off, or things are going to happen to where you are isolated. And then again, it's not a punishment. It's not. It's so beautiful. Okay. I actually have some channeled messages that I did not get to read because I was so excited to start the reading. So let me do that. Oh, excuse me. I had to burp. Okay, so pile number one. The song by Billie Holiday, "In My Solitude," came out for you. Your ancestors may be connected to the Harlem Renaissance here, okay? Or you may really love that time period. So the messages here are to love yourself and to trust yourself. Don't let their projections define you. You're taking the road less traveled. It may be lonely, but the reward is far more greater than the pain. Some of you here could have galactic ancestors, so you may be like really into like space, or you just really love like outer space or the planets or astrology. Also you could have some ancestors that like lived in cottages here, because the cottage core. So if you like cottage core with mushrooms and fairies and stuff like that, yeah, your ancestors are a combination of that. Or just take what resonates, because for some of you it could be the galactic, and for some of you it could be cottage core, but for some of you it could literally be a mix. So just please take what resonates here. And then we have Doja Cat need to know. So somebody here really loves Doja Cat, or you just have that type of energy like Doja Cat. But I also feel like your ancestors also have that type of energy like Doja Cat, where they're very unique, very like, I'm going to be the first to do this. Okay. Some of you could have ancestors that were Aries here. Take what resonates. Or you may be an Aries. Take what resonates. But this is so powerful. Look at this card. You see how this little, what is that? That little goat is laying right there. You see those vets? This is you. Pile number one. You see how they're it's like the goat is loathing, like, oh, I have to be by myself, but look what you're protected from. Those bats swarming around, and that's how people can be, swarming around you, don't have good intentions for you, just watching because they want you to mess up, because they're not doing right in their life. So look at this. You're protected. Isolation is protection. Everybody cannot go with you. I seen that on Facebook. It was a quote. Everybody can't go with you, okay? And you have to understand that, like, there's nothing wrong with being alone. There's nothing wrong if you don't have friends or a relationship, because you're working on yourself. And when you get to know yourself in this isolation period, you get to know what type of friends you want, what type of relationships you want to have in your life. Because a lot of times we just accept anything and anybody because we're trying to be loving and we're trying to receive that love. But you have to know your deal breakers, your boundaries, what you will tolerate, what you don't like, what you do like. Like, that's the whole purpose of you being in isolation period, is to get to know yourself more, get to love yourself beyond that surface level, diving deeper into who you are, diving deeper into the depths of who you are. Power number one, okay? Because you have some beautiful messages here, like, so I love what I do. I love reading cards because it's just like these messages, like, people need to hear them. Anyways, you have Jupiter. Okay, Jupiter is that planet of expansion here. So you could be a Pisces here, but you could also be a Sagittarius. Take what resonates. But in this isolation period, you're going to have a lot of knowledge, okay? Because Jupiter represents healing, expansion, growth. The whole purpose of you being in this period is to grow. Like I said, it is a catalyst for your growth. It's like you're going through this evolution, power number one, and it's not always going to feel good, okay? Because you're purging, you're healing, you're letting go of thoughts and belief systems that don't serve you. And you have to also let go of people, because that is a part of that shedding process, okay? But you're going to gain a lot of wisdom here. Your ancestors are letting you know that this isolation period is not in vain. You're going to gain a lot of wisdom about yourself, but about other people. And then you're going to see that it was a blessing that God separated you, because those people were not for you. Okay. You have initiation here. Look at that. Initiation. That is what the isolation period is about, because God chose you, God anointed you. And in the isolation period, it is a refinement process. God is refining you, God is healing you, God is giving you the tools that you need to be able to serve, to be able to help and live out your purpose. Okay, power number one, this is so beautiful. You might not feel like that right now, though, but this is very beautiful. Okay, you have a water spirit here. With the water spirit being here, like I said, somebody here is a water sign, Pisces, but you could be a Cancer or a Scorpio. Just take what resonates. But it's like you're being cleansed. It's like all the negative energy is being washed away from you. It's going to be cleansed. Being in this isolation period will really help you love you more. It'll help you see that you were a good friend, you were a good partner. Because partner one, it's like you too hard on yourself. Like, you think that when these connections don't work out, or just something in your life in general doesn't work out, you tend to think that it's your fault. You tend to think that it's your responsibility. But no, it's not always your fault. In situations where it is, be accountable, but everything is not your fault, pile number one. And you have to stop telling yourself that. I feel like that comes from your childhood, or just, I feel like you just never really had good friends, pile number one. And I'm so sorry. It's like when I pick up on your energy, it's like you've had a lot of disappointments with friends, because the people you want to be friends with, it's like they're followers. It's like they're scared to be themselves. So it's like, it's not a friendship worth having. Pile number one. Don't feel so lonely to the point where you accept anybody, because your energy is a privilege. Access to your energy is a privilege. Pile number one. Like, you're gonna come out of this so beautiful. And I'm not even just talking about physically, I'm talking about internally. Because this is like washing away your sins, washing away your heart, washing away those generational curses. Okay? Purging. Like, one of my favorite analogies to use when I talk about healing is a clogged sink. You know how when you unstop a sink up, you see all that nasty hair and everything that was just in there. That's how healing can be. all that stuff comes up because it's stuff that we've repressed. It's stuff that we've locked in our subconscious mind. So it's like taking that key and opening up that door. You know those attics that you never go in, and you know those movies where it's like an attic and they never go in it. It's the same thing like that. Like you go into that attic, you organize the room, and you throw away what no longer needs to be there. Whether you give it away, whether you throw it in the trash or whatever, you're getting it out of the attic, right? It's the same thing when it comes to your heart. You're cleansing it. I love using analogies, so I'm sorry if y'all like, "What?" Because I'm like, "Okay, I can keep going." Like, I can keep making up these analogies. Like, have y'all seen Everybody Hates Chris when he was like, his dad, he can go on and on talking about, people that didn't give up. Have y'all seen the episode where he was like, for example, what's his name? He ran for president. It's like Jesse Jackson, I think, something like that. And he was saying all these people who didn't give up. And I'm the same way when it comes to analogies. Like I can keep on making up different analogies, but take what resonates, okay? That some of you here might really like to watch Everybody Hates Chris, so take that too, because that show is funny. But some of you also could relate to that type of childhood too. So again, take what resonates. Some of you may be men watching this, okay? You just probably grew up in a neighborhood like where it was a predominantly black people, but you went to a predominantly white school. So take what resonates. Okay, so next we have Taurus. So you could be a Taurus here, but also I feel like this is the energy of your ancestors. Like they really love to cook here. So you could be somebody that really loves to cook, okay? But also very beautiful. Like you know how to adorn yourself. Because this is like giving that energy of somebody that like when they get out the shower, they exfoliate. They do so much to their skin, and you just come out glowing. You can have a Taurus sun, moon, or rise, and take what resonates here, okay? But you're somebody that takes care of yourself, and your ancestors are like commending you for taking care of yourself despite these people. Because I feel like you try to please people, pile number one, and you're learning that in this isolation period, you're going to learn that the person that you needed to be pleasing was you. The person that you needed to be given to was you, okay? And also, your ancestors want you to not be so stubborn to change. Understand that, yeah, while it may not feel good, it's very beneficial for you in the long run, okay? Very beneficial for you. And Taurus is an earth sign, okay? Taurus is about grounding your energy. With you being in this isolation period, you're going to be able to fully tap into that and ground yourself so where people can't get you out of your element. Because I feel like you've just been around people who know what buttons to provoke, gaslight you, and just make you constantly feel like you're the problem here. And your ancestors letting you know that you're not the problem, okay? You're not. You need to stop blaming yourself. And that's the reason why God is taking you away from these people because they're not good for you, regardless of the history you have. And some of these people that God is separating you from, point number one, could very well be family members. So, not all family members are good for us. Like, we have to understand that family is not everything. Blood is not thicker than water. Contrary to popular belief, what we see on TV, the movie Soul Food with this family, like, that's really not how it is. Look at this. Family is like people in your family, they're still vessels with spirits inside of them, right? So start looking at people as spirits. Remove the title of a family member and look at them as spirits for who they are. Some people in your family don't have good spirits, therefore they cannot be around you. So that is why God is removing you so that you see your light, so that you see your worth. And I'm so passionate about this. This is something that happened to me. This is something that happened to me, and that's why I'm so passionate, Pat number one, talking about this because I've gone through this isolation period. I'm still kind of in it, so I understand that you could feel lonely or you could feel guilty about ending certain relationships, but just know it was for the better. It was for the better. And if you're really serious about getting your life together, you'll stick with it. Okay. Pray for strength. Okay. Because you need it when going through this isolation process because nobody likes to be alone. That's understandable. It's a human thing to want to connect, but sometimes we need to connect with ourselves too. Okay. The next card that we have here is patience. So, path number one, be more patient with yourself, with your growth, with your healing. It's not going to happen overnight. One of my favorite quotes is Rome was not built in a day. So, excuse me. I'm drinking some apple juice, so It's making me burp. Sometimes when I do readings, I do burp, so I guess it's my thing. But with this patience card being here, they want you to understand that things take time. And it's a crane. This bird is a crane. So you may see cranes, you may have a crane tattoo, or you may really like that bird. And your ancestors may be represented as this bird. So please take what resonates here. But it's like you have to be patient with your goals and your growth. Like, think about a plant. When you plant a seed, like this, when you water it the first day, you're not gonna see anything sprout up. The next couple of days you might, but on the first day you plant that seed, you know, so understand that when you're changing, when you're shifting, it's a process. I literally said it was a refinement process. You're being refurbished, you're being polished, okay? You're being cleansed. And it's going to take time, but be patient because you're going to get the last laugh. File number one. Let people think they laughing because that's one thing I've learned. Okay. Because when I first, started my journey, healing, I started very young. And then when I really got serious about it, when I got in college, I started to notice people thinking it was funny, people laughing, people doubting me. But look at where I am now. I'm a senior in college. I'm about to graduate. Okay. I have 6.2K on YouTube. Like, I could think of all these accolades. Like, I won an oratory competition. I was first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of good things have happened to me because I've isolated myself from other people. I made podcasts. I used to be scared to do that. That's an accomplishment for me. It didn't go viral, but it didn't have to. It didn't matter. It's the fact that I had the courage to share my thoughts with the world. That in itself is growth. So understand, pound number one, that things really do take time. You have to be patient with yourself. Okay. Then we have leadership. So this I love this card too because it's like this is why you're in this isolation period as well. There's so many reasons why you're in this, so I'm going to tell you, okay? There's not just one reason why you're in this isolation period. There's many reasons. And another reason is that you're meant to be a leader. You're meant to lead. That's why when you get in these groups, part number one, you feel like naturally sometimes you just take on a leadership role where people rely on you, where people come to you with their problems and their issues, where you give good advice and you help people and you inspire them. You're meant to be a leader. That's a natural quality that you have. And I think people get caught up in leaders having like white collar jobs or being a CEO of a company. That's a form of a leader, but that's not synonymous with what you're trying to do. Okay. I feel like more so you're really gifted in helping people through emotional things, power number one. And not only that, but helping people become motivated. Like you give off life coach vibes, power number one. You give off therapist vibes here because you know how to help people get through things. But now it's time for you to give that love to yourself. It's time for you to help yourself get through things and tap in with your own emotions. But you're meant to be a leader. Okay. So the last two cards, oh, we don't have two more cards left. We have more. We have more. Look at this. We have some more. So we have spontaneity. So when this card comes out, it's all about you doing things that you've never done. Okay. It's about you having fun. It's about you doing something random. So for example, let's say you never go inside a certain clothing store, go in there and see what you find. Okay. And this doesn't even have to be limited to a clothing store. It could just be something new you've always want to try, even if it's a new ice cream, a new cereal, like even if it's a new show, like do something different, pile number one, so that you can spice up your life a little bit, change up the routine a little bit, okay? So that you're making more time for joy. Because I feel like you work a lot, pile number one, whether it's working like at a job or you're taking care of other people, like you just work. You work, okay? And it's time for you to have some fun. Okay, pile number one, have fun. You can accomplish your goals and everything, but have fun because that's the balance you need. You can't have all work with no play, okay? So even if you want to go late to like laser tag, like I'm getting the vibe from this card of like, adventurous, being adventurous, but like take yourself out on a date alone. Go out and get you some outfits and go shopping alone. Like learn how to value your presence, pile number one. That's also why you're being isolated, so that you can value your own presence. So that you know the weight that your presence truly holds. Okay. We have communication here with the throat chakra, because I have some chakra cards. This is the fifth chakra, the blue chakra, the throat chakra. I'm sorry that it's hard to see because when I film, like my window is right here. So I'm sorry about that if you can't really see the cards, but I'll do my best so you could see them. Anyways, with these two cards coming out, your ancestors want you to learn how to communicate better. They want you to learn how to articulate your feelings and say what needs to be said. Because pile number one, I feel like you're the type of person that you have the gift of saying what needs to be said. Okay, like Mercury and Sagittarius type shit. You need to say stuff because it's like sometimes you do need to put people in their place. Pile number one, that's a message from your ancestors. Like you can't just sit there and let people talk to you crazy like that. Sometimes you have to check people. Like I said this before, I think in one of my other readings, like we can't always like be good in our approach or even respectful, because some people just don't respond to that. Okay. And there's times you got to know the time when you could be respectful and speak your truth, or when you have to turn up and speak your truth. That you got to have that balance, because people will play with you. People will play with you. Okay. So vow number one, get acquainted with your voice. You may be even scared of hearing yourself on camera, but that's the point of this isolation period, so that you get more comfortable with yourself, even your body here, your body, your voice, aspects about yourself that you may not really like or understand. The isolation process is going to help you tap in more. Okay. It's also going to help you to quiet your mind so that you tune into the messages that spirit is trying to give you, to the ideas, to the visions, because there's so much that you can do. Power number one, there's so much that you can do, but you just have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you're capable, that you're worthy, even alone. Even if you don't have people around you, you don't need people around you. Like, you don't need people to approve of who you are. That's the point of you being alone, so that you can approve of yourself. Having a being comfortable in yourself will make you comfortable wherever you go, because your body is a temple and your temple is your home. And when you're comfortable in your own home, other people can't shake you out of your element. Power number one. So I understand that this process may not be something you enjoy. It may be lonely, but find better ways to connect with yourself so that you're not as lonely. Okay. Look, we have personal power. This is the solar plexus chakra. So you have two chakras here, the throat chakra and the solar plexus chakra. And we do have some yellow themes here, so it makes sense. And we have some blue. Like I think this is like a blue, but like a violet. And then this is blue here. I look at all the colors because look, this is blue. So everything is just like coming together. So it says, let me read this. I choose to be myself and to express my truth, which we just talked about. I have a positive influence on the people and situations around me. Exactly. Exactly. So, pile number one, this isolation period is going to help you find your power, because I feel like you were very ambitious as a child, and I feel like a lot of it has been taken away so that other people don't feel triggered by your growth. And I feel like it started at a very young age. You could have been the type of person just saying, I want to do this and I want to do that, and having certain family members like, oh, how are you going to do this and how are you going to do that, like really trying to put doubt in you and plant these seeds of doubt so that you don't go after what it is you want. Because if you do, it's going to trigger them for what they didn't do. And people don't want other people to succeed because it makes them feel like, well, I didn't do anything with my life. Like people just naturally compare themselves to others. So I feel like you've dealt with that a lot, and I feel like to compensate for that, you try to, still connect with these people anyway, and it's not. It's not what was needed, pile number one. So despite how kind and loving you are, these types of people will be threatened by you because they don't know what they want to do with their life. And if they do, they don't believe in themselves. But I feel like you used to have that belief in yourself. You didn't let anything deter you. You just knew. So now you're getting that back. I feel like this isolation period is going to help you retrieve parts of your soul, but it's also going to help you connect with your inner child, okay? Because I feel like you've been disconnected from your inner child, disconnected from your creativity here, okay? So, and also disconnected from your confidence because of the way people make you feel. You could have grown up with people telling you that you think you're all that or you think you're better, but it's really because people just try to humble people so much because it's so threatening for somebody to be in their light and their power because a lot of people aren't in their light and their power, even at a young age. Like, don't get it twisted. Like you learn these messages very early that it's not okay to shine, that it's gonna make other people feel bad, you know? So pile number one, just understand that you're meant to be in this leadership position. You're meant to be powerful. You're meant to help people, whatever it is. Because for some of you, this could even be a nursing. You might be going to school for a nursing degree. Whatever it is, you're going to be able to help people because you're going to be anointed. You're going to be serving your purpose. You're going to be making, what does it say? I have a positive influence, period. You're going to have a positive influence. Okay. So don't fear this period. Enjoy it. Find you a nice show on Netflix to watch and cuddle up with yourself. Chill with yourself because you are so worth it. Power number one. Okay. It says right here, it says these cards, before I get into them, y'all, they are blunt. They do cuss. Okay. It says you are going through some tough stuff. Everyone has their turn. Welcome to yours. Get your tired ass up and handle it. That's what it says here. So you're going through some tough shit. Yeah, I feel like that's what it says. I said stuff because I don't really like cussing on my channel like that because I don't want YouTube having issues with me, so I don't really like to do that. But yeah, you're going through this process of elimination because you're realizing who's meant to be in your life and who's not. What is meant to be in your life and what is not. Okay. Then you have this. It says shit is about to get real. Okay. You need your people around you. And by people around you, this is saying you need your spiritual team around you. So whenever you feel uneasy or you feel irritable where you want to pop off or go off on somebody, pound number one, please call on your ancestors. Okay. They're letting you know that they're with you. Okay. Because I feel like you've always felt like this though. This is not something that you're just feeling because of the isolation period, regardless if you're in it or if you're being called to be in it. I feel like you just have always felt like, damn, I'm always the helper. I'm always the one that's being there for other people, but nobody's there for me. But now it's your turn to be there for you. Because look at this kind of when you have to be what you attract. If you want people in your life that are going to love you and value you, you have to do it first because we teach people how to treat us by how we treat ourselves. So, pattern one, this isolation period is really going to be very healing for you. It's going to help you dig up deep trauma and release it because a lot of what you're carrying is ancestral. Okay. A lot of it is. So whenever you're healing yourself and you're taking care of yourself, you're simultaneously doing the same thing for your ancestors. And while you're breaking these curses, it makes it better for your descendants and the people that come after you. It makes it better for your children if you have children here. So please take what resonates, okay? And thank you, pile number one. That's the end of your reading. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I love to see the comments. Please don't be shy. I kind of noticed on some videos, people don't comment, but it's okay to comment. I'm not gonna bite you. I look forward to the comments because I like seeing what part you liked or what part you resonated with, you know? All right, pile number one. Thank you. Okay, pile number two. If you chose pile number two, this is your reading. So pile number two, your ancestors was not playing. They were a lot more blunt than pile number one. And they really like I'm gonna read the channel messages, okay? Hold on. They don't play about you. Pile number two, you got them ancestors. A little gangster. They like, I don't play that. Okay. Because so one of the messages that I got from your ancestors is fuck them. So whoever they talking about, your ancestors said fuck them. Okay. And like I said, I don't like the cuss, but When it comes out, I have to, okay? And your overall message is this: other people's jealousy and envy is not your problem. Let me run it back. Other people's jealousy and envy is not your problem. It is their problem. Their problem. Don't stop shining your light because folks can't handle it. That's exactly how it came to me. Other people's jealousy and envy is not your problem. Pie number two, you that B, okay? You that boy, you that girl, even if you're non-binary, you're that soul. It's something about who you are that's intimidating to a lot of people. Okay. And because of how kind and sweet you are and how thoughtful and considerate, you take it personal. You think that you're doing something to make these people jealous. No, that's a personal problem that they need to work on. Your ancestors are very defensive over you, pound number two, because I'm starting to notice that I'm getting like that, like talking. Because pound number one was a little bit more, the energy was more light, like the ancestors were more light. But in this one, it's like, no, like it's like the vibe of being fed up. I feel like when your ancestors were living, they were just fed up with people trying to tell them what to do and how to be. You know, I feel like you've gone through that a lot of the times, pile number two, like having people try to like make you feel like, well, if you didn't dress like that, then I would feel like this. Like this is a great example. Like one day, this is how people's jealousy operates. Like I remember in high school, one day I felt so good. I had on this cute ass outfit. I had my hair done in some Marley twist. If you know, you know, bomb, bomb. And I had on some Doc Martens too, bomb. And then this girl had walked past me, looked at my outfit up and down, and was like, "Why everybody always trying to dress up? That's some hater ass shit." That's some hating ass shit, right? And I remember at the time feeling bad and wondering why did she say that or why did she have to do that to me? But I really at the time didn't understand it. Some people are just haters. There, you can't provoke that in somebody. That's something that they already have. And don't get me wrong, we all can be jealous of another person because we naturally compare ourselves. But it's when you start to get to the point where that jealousy turns to envy and you try to destroy and hurt that person, that's when it becomes a problem because we all get jealous. It's a natural human thing. It's a natural human trait, but there's ways to work on that jealousy. And the levels of jealousy depends on the person. There are some people who just don't like who they are. In my opinion, I have this theory about people that are jealous and envious. They don't like themselves. That's why they get mad at other people because they like, wow, I wish I could have been that. Like they don't like who they are, so they try to look for personalities to try on. And when they can't mimic you, it's a problem. But it's like you're your own person. They're their own person. They're not understanding that they can't be you. Like the song I'm hearing is only you can be you. Only I can be me. I always want to be what you're not. Can't you be happy with what you've got? Yeah, I'm hearing that. It's by Symphonique Miller. Only you can be you. Yes. That came through for your ancestors too. And pattern number two, your ancestors are musical here. So that's why I started singing because I was picking that up too, like musical, because I wrote that down. Okay. Also, the next message is be you. Your ancestors want you to be yourself. Keep shining. Power number two, you're very glamorous, whether you're male, female, or non-binary. Like you, if you're a man, you always like to smell good. You have your eyebrows arched, like you shave real nice. Your hair is done. If you have locks, you be having them retwisted, the edge up. It doesn't matter your hairstyle too. You could just have like curly hair here, and you just always keep yourself looking nice. And to other people, people equate that to you think you better than people. And I never understood that because I relate to this pal a lot because I'm somebody who loves to dress up and I've always had people feel like I'm doing too much. I'm me. Like if I want to dress up, I can. Like other people feel like you should have thought about them first. And to me, that's entitlement because who are you to think that I have to tone down things because you're uncomfortable with it? Like you don't own me. That's the thing you have to understand, pal number two. These people don't own you. Okay. Don't ever let people make you feel like you have to tone yourself down because it's too much for them. You don't wake up to please them. You don't. See, your ancestors don't play because you're just giving me this energy because okay, the next thing we have is a song. Just Live Your Life by T.I. and Rihanna. Okay. And this will be in the description, okay? And then They also said, "Let people talk." And right after that, I literally heard, "It's not about what you're called, it's what you answer to." It's a quote. I don't know who that's from, but that's what I heard. And then stay glamorous. And the signs that I picked up was Leo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. So Sagittarius and Pisces energy was in the first reading, but take what resonates because you could be watching both of these readings here, okay? Yeah. Also, pile number 2, you have some scorned lovers here. You may deal with like people that they could be your exes from like 8 years ago, 5 years ago, and they still talking about you like y'all together, or like they're so heartbroken over what happened. Okay. And these people could have cheated on you and did you wrong, but when you left, it was a problem. Like, I don't understand people that do that because I've had that happen to me. Like, you're mad because I left, but you cheated on me and did me wrong. Like it makes no logical sense, okay? Anyways, those were your messages, but you have one more song here, and that's why I feel like you have a scorned lover because scorned lovers, plural, okay? Because you got that energy, pound number 2. You got that sauce. You got that recipe, okay? One of a kind, limited edition type energy, okay? It says Mary J. Blige, I Am, the song by I Am. It's like, nobody's gonna treat you as good as I am. So it's like these exes really feel like, oh, nobody can treat you better. I'm pretty sure somebody will. I'm pretty sure somebody can by not cheating on you, by being accountable when they mess up, by loving you, by taking you out, by making good love to you. You know what I'm saying? By listening to your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and interests, by investing in you. Yes, people can treat you better. Okay. Anyways, let's get into the cards. So, pile number 2, what are your ancestor messages? All right. Number 1, don't take it personally. That's what this card says. Okay, because I feel like pile number 2, you have a lot of integrity and you have a lot of respect. So you wouldn't treat people a certain way because excuse me, I had to burp again. Somebody should count how many times I did it in the video. That would be funny. But anyways, um, don't take it personally when people are jealous and envious. Like if you like to look good and dress up, like people shouldn't be threatened by that because they can do the same thing. They act like you're taking away looking good, like you're the only person that can look good and smell good. Because you smell good too, pound number 2. That's what people be mad at. You smell really good, okay? But you can't take it personally because it literally has nothing to do with you. Okay, pound number 2, it has nothing to do with you. That's already in people. You have to understand that not all people are good people. Doesn't matter if they have more than you. It's about what's in their heart. Okay. The next card you have is get centered. Okay. So some of you may like Hinduism or the goddess Kali here. I love Kali, so the number 8 is here, so you could be born in the 8th month, be born on the 8th day. Your birth year could end in the 8. Take what resonates here, or you could see 888 a lot. That's an angel number. It represents abundance. So with this being here, it's like it's get centered. It's like your ancestors want you to stay in your element because I feel like whenever you're because you are somebody who's highly intuitive, pound number 2. I feel like you feel other people's emotions. You could be an empath here, and it's like you can feel when somebody's jealous of you. Pound number 2, don't ever let somebody tell you tripping. You know when people don't really like you or when they don't fuck with you. You can feel that. You're good at reading energy, pound number 2, and it's like you can tell when people are jealous of you, so you just naturally try to tone it down because you think that that'll decrease the jealousy, but it's who you are. It's your light. Okay, that jealousy and envy is not going to go away with those people because that's in their heart and it has nothing to do with you, because people that want to be jealous and envious, that's what they're always going to be because they want to be that. We all have a choice in how we feel, and some people want to feel like that when they don't have to, when they can literally just love themselves and appreciate who they are. But no, I feel like that's a condition of not loving yourself. Like that needs to be in the DSM-5 because I love psychology. I'm going to school to be a therapist, so it's like the way that the human mind works is so fascinating to me. And it's just like I always come up with theories, and I call them theories because they're not proven. It's just something that I observe. And it's like people have this issue where they cannot be themselves and get mad at you for that. And I just don't understand that. So that's why I'm really, I really tried to, but it's just like, how are you mad at somebody for being great when you could be that? Because it's not taking up. It's not a limited amount of spots who can be great. It's literally a perception of the mind, the perception that you have of yourself. So I feel like you understand where I'm coming from, pound number two, because you just go through people like that. But you just have to start ignoring these people, pound number two. Like it says that in that song, Live Your Life. T.I. said, never mind what haters say, ignore them till they fade away. Okay. Because people are going to talk shit, okay, because they're insecure. And part number two, when people talk shit, really like pay attention to what they're saying, not so that it can hurt you, but really so you can know things about them. They talking shit about you, saying things about your body, saying things about your hair, that lets you know they're insecure about their body and hair. People tell on themselves all the time. Have you ever heard the quote that only a hit dog holler? Yeah. So pay attention, pound number two, and don't even take it personal. Like my partner told me, being the topic of the conversation should never be offensive. You popping. So you're popping, pound number two, and ignore these people because they will fade away. And your ancestors do not play. So don't even worry about retaliation because these people get their karma big time. Some of you could be Capricorns here because your ancestors give off a Saturn vibe, like an authoritative vibe, okay? Some of your ancestors could have also been indigenous here, Native American, like chiefs and stuff like that. You may be indigenous as well. Take what resonates. So with the lovers card, look, we got the lovers. You have scorned lovers, and they cheated on you. I feel like these people cheated on you, but you want to know something? Your independence is very triggering to these people. So I've never looked at this card like this, pound number two, but I started to realize like these three women, I feel like these three women represent you. Like you're somebody who's very multifaceted. So you come with different things. Like this was your ex. They only came with that. Meanwhile, you have all of this, right? You're all of that. You could be assertive, you could be sexy, you could be loving and compassion, but this person only came with an apple. Like this person only came with really nothing. They came with one aspect, and you're multidimensional. And I feel like you were dealing with people who were very insecure, who didn't love themselves. And I feel like they projected so much onto you to make you think that something was wrong with you. And I feel like pound number two, whether you realize this or not, you had exes jealous of you. It's like they're jealous of you, but they still want you at the same time. But they really want you because they feel like they can control their jealousy through hurting you and breaking you down because your light triggers them. Even if you have these people blocked, they still make fake accounts to watch you. Like you have this energy, pound number one, pound number two. So like I said, some of y'all may be watching pound number one as well, but take what resonates. You have this energy to where people get obsessed in a way, like, and it's not about being obsessed in like a crazy way. It's like obsessed with trying to defeat you, obsessed with trying to win, obsessed with trying to feel like they're better than you. And it's like they never can. So they start to feel bad about themselves when it's like you don't even have to compete in the first place. Like I don't think people realize that competing it's not a requirement, it's not an option, but it's something you choose. So something you have to pay for because your ancestors don't play. Okay, pound number two, your ancestors do not play that. So you were dealing with people who just didn't really love who they were on the inside. And seeing you possess all these different qualities and seeing you love on yourself made them feel like, damn, why can't I love myself? So that I feel like that's why they were intimidated by you, pal number two, but also your independence. I feel like you did a lot on your own. So for example, if you were a woman with a man, right? If you were in a heterosexual relationship, it's like the man got mad because the man that you were dating or your exes could be very patriarchal, be very misogynist, very sexist, and they or even racist too. And they have these ideas that and homophobic as well. But they have these ideas that, oh, I'm a man, so I get to do this. I get to be the one that's ambitious and live in my dreams, not you. And some men really feel like that, okay? And I feel like you went through that and you could have broke up with them and they could have broke up with you. But it's like even after they weren't in your life, you still prospered. And it seemed like even more when they left because they were blocking your blessings with their negative ass energy and envy. But it's like they don't even realize that all that negative energy though is coming back to them, but it's also a blessing to you because they manifest this stuff for you. That's why that's why people say let your haters be your motivators. Yeah. But also because when people don't want you to have something and they keep on hoping you don't, the universe gives it to you. Like people don't understand that. So don't even feel bad about being a topic of conversation because you never know what they manifesting for you. Okay, you never know. But yeah, with the reason why I say independence because we have the first chakra and it says independence. So yeah, and this is getting grounded again. Both piles have that message of being grounded, being in your element, so that other people and their negative energy and their projections don't get you out of character, okay? But yeah, you were very independent. And the same thing could be if you were a man with a woman. You could have been somebody who was very independent, you took care of her, but I feel like it was because you didn't start drama with this partner. If you were a man, it's like she expected you to start drama and mess, and because you were just so chill, it was like, oh, you're not. It's like she wants drama, and you were not like that. I feel like she could have called you too feminine or accused you of being like not all the way straight. Like there's things like that here, pile number two, but it's like that woman was not for you because it's the same thing. It's like the woman that you were with, like I was talking about how the heterosexual relationship with the woman and the man, now reversing it to man and woman, like you being the man if you are a man watching this. It's the same thing with the woman being in those roles, being, internalizing that misogyny and patriarchy and sexism and thinking that I'm supposed to be treated like this. So it's weird if I'm not. No, you're not supposed to be having fights with a man every day and proving your worth and your love. It's like that's not how a relationship should be. But a lot of toxicity in relationships have been normalized in our society, unfortunately. I know I'm talking hella fast, y'all, but these messages literally are coming through. So I'm just delivering as I go. Sorry, y'all. Somebody texted me. Anyways, let's continue on. But yeah, pile number two, if you were a man, it's like she got mad because you didn't want to be in that drama, or it could be even like you weren't in the streets. You were actually working. Okay. Because I remember seeing this video where it was like this man, he went to work, he had his wife in his big ass house, and she was cheating on him with his brother. So you could have had a similar experience like that, okay? Take what resonates. Even if you were a woman, it could have been your man with your sister or your cousin or your best friend, but take what resonates here. And if you're non-binary, the same thing happened. You could have been dealing with a partner, whether they identified as female or male, or also non-binary like you. It's like they couldn't handle that you didn't need them for everything. And sometimes we do need our partners, but we don't need our partners for everything. What I feel like what it is about you, power number two, is that you weren't so like codependent on them. Like you didn't always go to them for their opinion. You just did things. And I feel like the people you were with, whether you're male, female, or non-binary, they were very controlling. Very controlling to the point where they feel like I control how you see yourself. I control how you feel. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, what's wrong with these people? What's wrong with people in society? Like, who are y'all to feel like y'all control how people feel? Like, that's something that bothers me so much because I can't stand that. Your ancestors are talking to me, pound number two, because I'm getting a little feisty because I really don't understand the need for other people to control another person's freedom. I don't get it. Then we have the solar plexus chakra here, self-worth and self-esteem. Okay. Self-worth and self-esteem. So it's like, do not allow these people to make you dim your light. Okay. Listen to this. It says, I am empowered as I release the need to live up to other people's unrealistic expectations of me. Unrealistic. I know I am worthy of love and respect, right? The boundaries I create with others acknowledge my self-worth. And I was just going to get to boundaries because look what we have here. The King of Swords is in reverse. So it's like pile number two, your ancestors are telling you that it's okay to have boundaries. You're not, it's like when you cut people off, pile number two, you feel bad. You feel so guilty to the point where you probably stay up at night thinking about it. And it should never get to that point because when people are in your life and they don't love you, they don't respect you, they don't hear you, they don't value what you have to say, they don't understand you, they shouldn't be a part of your life. It's a waste of time to have somebody in your life and they're not doing anything to make you grow. They're not doing anything to contribute to your happiness. So why are they there? Peace, deuces. Let them go. It's two ways to do the peace sign. So if you see me doing this is actually the original way, but sometimes you might see me do that. But anyways, yeah. With this being here, you could be a Libra, okay? In some way, like sun, moon, or rising, take what resonates. But it's like these connections were not balanced, okay? You weren't as assertive as you should have been, okay? And I'm getting more so these connections are your relationships, like past romantic relationships. But for some of you, I feel like this was also friendships too. Heavy on that, okay? Heavy on that, because you could have had a friendship also with 3 people, okay? It could have been a trio. But again, other people's jealousy is not your problem. And with the boundary setting, it's like you opened up to people who didn't deserve it. You just allowed a lot in because you loved and you had integrity. So you feel like, okay, if I'm moving with pure intentions, then they are. And that's not what it was, pound number 2. So your ancestors want you to remove that guilt. You saved yourself. You didn't deserve to be around this, and you showed spirit, you showed your ancestors that you knew your worth because you removed yourself. And spirit said remove yourself every time. Don't feel bad about it because life is too fucking short. Like, look what happened to Shanquella Robinson. That story is so heartbreaking. She lost her life with some going somewhere with some fake ass friends, didn't even know. So pile number 2, do not feel bad about cutting people off when you felt weird energy. You're not wrong for that. It's 444 on the clock. If y'all can see that, as soon as I said that, it's 444. So don't feel bad. Okay, that's a confirmation too. If you've been seeing that number, don't feel bad because you need people around you that can stand your light because they're also a light. So when y'all come together, y'all just shine brighter. That's what you need, not people that are insecure and feel like you need to shrink down with them. Because I feel like you've dealt with this with friends and family and romantic relationships. And I'm just getting a little bit defensive. How number 2, because that's how your ancestors feel about you. Okay, they don't play that. Nope. So we have some more cards. Okay, so we have this card called Undines and Mermaids. Okay, so pile number 2, this is your aura. You have a calm ass aura. Your aura is, that's why I was getting like if you were a man watching this, you're just chill as fuck. You're very chill. You're not with the drama. Some of you here could also be introverted, okay? But it's like you really keep to yourself and you mind your business and you're respectful and you kind of expect other people to do the same, pile number 2. But unfortunately, with the world we live in, most people are nosy. Most people, they're not on your frequency, okay? So they don't get it. But it's like, also I'm getting there's plenty of fish in the sea, okay? There's plenty of fish in the sea. So don't worry about these exes. And with plenty of fish in the sea, this is also people. There's 8 billion people on this planet. Don't let a couple people get you down. Like you have yet to see the world, power number 2. You're just in your hometown or where you're at, or even if you've moved, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't let the environment that you in make you think that that's how the whole world feels about you. No, those are those people. Their toxicity, not you. Okay, pound number 2. That's one thing that you really have to learn, that other people's bullshit, their drama, their madness, their insecurities, that has nothing to do with you. You can't keep trying to make yourself figure out, oh, why do they do that to me? Because they're insecure. Because they don't love themselves. Has nothing to do with you. Okay. You have the 7 of Earth, 7 of Pentacles in reverse. It's like you don't see how hard you work. You don't see your greatness at times, power number 2, but other people do. It's the irony because you don't see it, but they do. That's why they are jealous and envious, not because of something about you. Okay, it's just them. They don't love who they are, and until they do, they're always going to be jealous and envious. And understand that it's not just you, power number 2. People be jealous of all types of people. People get jealous over the dumbest things. People get jealous over how you make a grilled cheese. People get jealous over how you put on your lipstick. Like, it's literally crazy. For real. So let's look at these cards. So we have purification, light. What I love is that my cards always reflect the message because I always write the messages before I ever shuffle any cards. And it's like the cards come out and reflect what I said. So look at this purification. Look at this sunflower. You're this light. I'm hearing that song like you're my sunflower. I love that song too, but yeah, it's like power number two. You're so beautiful inside and out. And it's like your ancestors want you to recognize your light because it's like you inspire people. Like power number two, you keep yourself put together, you inspire people to do that, and then when they start putting themselves together, they start to feel good too, and that energy rubs off on people. That is why you're light. You're meant to teach people how to take care of themselves, and you're leading by example. Like power number one, they actually get to be in a leadership position, but you're leading by example. You don't necessarily have to be in a leadership position, but you're leading by example by being you, like your ancestors told you to be. Be you, be that light and shine it. Even though it makes people uncomfortable, that's why you have to get centered. So when you can sense that people are uncomfortable, that they're jealous and envious, you don't take it personal and you don't make it about you. I feel like we make things about ourselves because we're taught that how other people feel is our responsibility, and it's not. The next card you have is blessings. You have blessings coming in, pile number two. Your ancestors want you to know they're pouring in. But you got water energy here. You have a lot of water imagery, exactly. You have a lot of that. Like it's rain in this card, right? But it's also rain here. Okay. So you may really like the rain here. Or you would benefit from like listening to rain sounds when you sleep or just throughout your day. Excuse me. Burped again. I think it's just something I do when I read cards because I don't never burp like this in a normal day when I'm not doing a reading. Okay, but yeah, blessings. And you see that yellow and that yellow? You see that light? You gotta be that light. Pile number two. But yeah, you have a lot of water imagery here because you're somebody who you move with pure intentions. Okay, you could be a water sign as well here. Take what resonates. We have Pluto here. So you transform. I feel like your style transforms. Like you could be somebody who dresses like with different eras. Like you could dress like the 70s one year. The next year you transform and you're into the 80s. It's like you're always transforming. And that is what people are jealous and envious of, is because you never stay the same. Pile number two, you could be a mutable sign. Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, and Sagittarius. Okay. We actually had a Gemini card too. But you give off a mutable energy to where you can shift and change when you need to. And I feel like you're always growing and you're always learning. And that's why these people feel jealous. I feel like you probably always are like, why are people always feel some type of way? Or why when I have a friend, they do that? Or why when I date somebody? It's because of your light. Pile number two. It's because of that. And it has nothing to do with who you are as a person. It's not your character. I know that some of these people have tried to paint you as a bad person, but let me tell you, the truth is going to come to the light, because people are going to start to see about your exes, about your past friends, and some of these family members as well. They're going to start to see the truth. Okay. You just have to, all you have to do, pal number two, is be you. And while that may seem so simple, it could be so complex because of how people make you feel. And that is why you have to learn to get centered and ground yourself in your energy. Like imagine that you're a tree and you're rooting yourself. Imagine tree roots growing out from your feet. Ground yourself in your energy. Stay in that glamorous energy. Stay in your light energy. So when you feel that urge to get out of it, the roots keep you in place. Okay. And those roots can be a metaphor for affirmations. Because one thing I've done for myself is speak highly. Like I remember being at a basketball game recently, and I just felt so much negative energy, and I just kept telling myself in my head, "You are so beautiful. You are like." I just kept telling myself affirmations. You are protected. You are lovely. You are loving. You are lovey. Love, not lovey, but you are lovely to be around. Your energy is lovely. So it's like when you can create that armor for yourself, and it doesn't even have to be an armor of like strong defense where you're going off and you know doing the most. It's like that armor of love. Like I'm gonna love, that's my protection, my self-love. That's your protection. Part number two, your self-love. You really need to cleanse yourself more here. That's what that water is for. Maybe you need to take spiritual baths to cleanse off that evil eye, because over time it could bring your self-worth and your self-esteem down because you're listening to these haters. Let these haters hate and you continue to be great. Bars. Okay, next we have Gemini. So you're very multifaceted, you're very intelligent, okay? And I feel like people from your past get intimidated because they couldn't pull the wool over your eyes because you knew. And I feel like with if you were a woman dating a man, it was again that patriarchy, that sexism, that misogyny. Well, how can she be smarter than me as a woman? Like feeling like because they're a man, they're better than you. And that's ridiculous, but a lot of men think like that because it's taught. It's ingrained in our society, even though it's not true, you know? Next, we have eat your vegetables. It says eat some shit made by Mother Nature, okay? Eat your fucking vegetables. That's what it literally says. So your ancestors want you to eat healthier, okay? If you already eat healthy, this is just confirmation, okay? But if you've been feeling the need to change your diet and eat more plant-based, or you're limiting your meat intake, do that because it's really going to help you feel better about yourself. Because sometimes we can feel heavy because of the foods we're eating, along with how we feel emotionally. So you can decrease that heaviness by eating better, okay? And do with that as you will. Like, don't think that you have to become a vegan to eat healthy because sometimes that's not healthy for your body. You have to know what's healthy for you. Pound number two, you have to get comfortable with food. You may not be comfortable with food because you may feel like you may have a fear of gaining weight here because I'm picking up on that, or you just may not have had the best relationship with food growing up here. But it's time for you to work on that pound number two and actually start eating vegetables. Like some of you may be like, oh, I don't like tomatoes. I don't like pickles and cucumbers. I don't like that. They bomb. You better start eating that pound number two. You better start eating that because it's healthy for you and it helps you. It helps get that heaviness off of you too. Okay. So if you've been thinking about, like I said, if you've been thinking about changing your diet, now is the time to do it. And you can even start with like smoothies that are vegan, like naked drinks are really good. Kombucha is really good. Like drinking water is also really good. Um, but yeah, they want you to change up your diet here, okay? And another message that I'm getting, pound number two, is that you're worthy of love. You're so worthy. Just because these people in the past couldn't love you, that doesn't mean that somebody in the future can't. It doesn't mean that somebody in the present can't, okay? So now we have a couple more cards left, and it says stop texting, stop stalking, stop checking on that person, just fucking stop. Spend your time on someone worth it. Don't waste it on ridiculousness. So listen to this. Those relationships that were unreciprocal, unbalanced, cut their asses off. Especially if you haven't done it already. Pound number two, your ancestors giving you the clear go ahead. Yes, if you've been thinking about cutting somebody off, cut them off. Okay, because I feel like every time when it comes to like you being in the connection, it seems like you're putting in more with these people, and it's not supposed to be like that. Pound number two, I feel like you've gotten used to that dynamic, but it doesn't. No, you don't have to be used to giving more and receiving less. That's not how it works. When you go to the mall and you buy a chain, are you going to receive a small chain? No, they're going to give you what you've ordered, right? Let me make it even more simpler. When you go to, let's say, McDonald's, you order the food. Do they just give you one fry in the bag? No, especially if you didn't order the Big Mac and a large Sprite and a large fry. You're gonna feel some type of way from not getting your food because you spent money on it, right? The same thing goes with energy. You've spent energy with people. You've given them your energy. You've given them your generosity, your love, your care, your kindness, your resources, your attention, all that. So you deserve that back, rightfully so. So understand that sometimes, pound number two, people aren't always going to reciprocate. But guess what? You can meet people that do by cutting off the ones that don't. Make space for the people that you want to have in your life by getting rid of the people who don't do shit for you, but make you feel bad about yourself. And they secretly hating and envious on the low. No. Who wants to be around people like that? You don't deserve that. You deserve to be around people who are also lights, people that inspire you to shine brighter. The last two cards we have is stars and timing, okay? So we have another 8 here because 62, 6 plus 2 is 8. So you could be a life path 8 as well. Then we have the number 38. So we literally have 8, 8, 8. in this reading, okay? But yeah, with the stars and timing, it's like the right people will come in your life, pal number two. You just have to give it some time. Like I told pal number one, you have to be what you want to attract. If you want to attract loving and kind people, be loving and kind to yourself. Stand in your light, stand in your power, because then you can attract people who also stand in their light and in their power. You won't have to worry about jealousy and envy and those types of relationships because those people value themselves in their light. Therefore, they wouldn't ever try to crush yours or try to make you dim yours. There's people in the world like you, pal number two. You might feel like you're too different, too eccentric, too quirky. Some of you may be Aquarius here, but it's like you're still very much a lovable person. You might just be around people that can't relate to you, but a lot of you have outgrown relationships that you need to let go of, pal number two. You need to let go of some of these relationships because they're not serving you. The last card that we have is creating and writing with Sashista. So some of you, your name may start with an S here, but take what resonates. Or you may literally be 38. Some of you could be 26, 38. Those are the numbers here. Take what resonates. But creating and writing. So your ancestors want you to write how you feel more, because some of you are very gifted in poetry. Some of you are very gifted in writing novels, sci-fi, nonfiction, fiction, fairy tale. Like you're very good at telling stories here with this Gemini energy. That makes sense. I just thought about that. Because Gemini is linked to writing, because I have a Gemini moon and I love to write. So it's just that Mercurial energy here. So your ancestors want you to tap more into your writing abilities and your gifts because your words have the power to heal. Okay, that's another part of your light. Our light can shine in so many different ways and so many different avenues. And pattern two, your light just so happens to shine through writing, through speech here. Okay, through the way that you connect to people deeply. So it's like the way that you write. It could even be like the way you text. Okay, so take what resonates here. Like you have a way of making people feel what it is you're saying, and your ancestors want you to continue to do that because there's so many lives you can impact in a positive way. Okay, and also I want to read something back on this card because your ancestors just don't play about you, pal number two, because this is what it says. I honor myself by doing things that please me, not only those that please others. So you need to let go of your people pleasing tendencies. I know you want to help people out, but think about, has this person helped me? Before I start giving and giving, have they given to me? Have they given me anything? Have they ever reciprocated? Those are questions you need to ask yourself, pal number two, so that I think I've been saying pal number one, so forgive me if I have. And if I have and you feel connected to the first one, do it. But anyways, pal number two. Connect more to writing. Write down how you feel, even if it's just in your notes, in your phone, in a journal, like on a Google Doc. Write down how you feel because it's so powerful to express. You don't always have to tell it to other people if you don't feel comfortable, but you will really benefit from writing it down and speaking your poetry, performing your poetry here, okay? And also being creative in whatever you want to do. If it's music, if it's art, if it's modeling, if it's fashion, because I'm getting here, it's people love fashion, pound number two, because some of you may like Tyler the Creator here, ASAP Rocky. Pound number two, you just give off like the alternative energy. Okay, like for example, if you've ever heard of like the alternative black boy, the alternative black girl, like these are things that just mean that you're different from the norm, because I consider myself that. And when you say you're alternative, it doesn't mean that like you're away from your culture. It just means that you don't fit into the standards because you're so different, and it's a beautiful thing. You don't have to. Okay, so yeah, the last thing I'm going to say is somebody's initials could be M or K, just because of right here, MK. It says MK. All right. So that was your reading, pile number two. Like, you had me going hard for you like a mommy. Like, you had me in my mama energy because I completely understand like being on the receiving end of that all the time and feeling like you're doing something, but you're not. When you're rising, when you're growing, when you're loving yourself, or when you're just content with who you are, sometimes people will be jealous and envious of you, but it doesn't mean that there's something bad about you. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. There's a lot right with you, okay? It's why people get jealous and envious in the first place. So please, part number two, continue to love yourself and wait on those people. Wait on that partner, you know? Understand that good is going to flow to you. You have blessings, okay? And blessings can be in the form of people too. So be on the lookout for that. But also let go of your people pleasing and stop over giving because you deserve as much as you give, pound number two. All right. All right, that was your reading. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And also follow my Facebook page, Tarot with Blossom, please. If you want to stay updated, because I may not always post on YouTube, because like I said, like when I do my readings, I love taking my time. I'm not about to rush and give you a crazy ass reading. Like I love it being organized, structured. I'm just like that. So thank you all for the ones who are patient and look forward to these readings. Mwah. Peace. Let me stop sharing.